Everyone, my name's Tony,
I'm Amber.
and hopefully you guys, mostly all you guys know us, but we wanted to step out a little bit out of our comfort zone and make a video about some of our financial journeys and where we've been in the last year, actually a little less than a year, and talk to some of you people that might be in the same situation and offer hopefully some hope and offer coming alongside of the people that need it to encourage and to hold accountable to some of their financial decisions in life. So we had a long journey. We've been together for how many years? 17-ish?
19-ish.
Well, married for 17-ish,
Yes.
but together for 19-ish. And we've never been debt-free. We've never felt the freedom that it takes or comes along with not owing debt to somebody, whether it was credit cards or car loans or any of that. That in our whole life journey, we've never felt that. And just want to be able to show you some of the things that we've done and some encouragement to offer. And we'll go from there. So we'll start with Amber's going to tell us a little bit about where we've been.
So, a year ago a year ago, we were in a place where I paid the bills, but Tony went to work and made the paycheck, but we really didn't communicate on where the money was spent or where it needed to go, what was coming up the road that we needed to be saving for. And we got ourselves into a jam many times, or just didn't spend our money the way we were supposed to, didn't budget. And really, it just got to where we were in debt a lot. We had close to $38,000
Almost $40,000 in debt
credit card debt alone.
of just pure credit cards. And that was so slow and so sneaky, I guess, in my opinion, maybe because I didn't handle the finances, to be able to see how we were buried in such a payment every month. We were making minimum payments of $1,000 each month just to credit cards in minimum payments. We want to be transparent. We don't, obviously the finances is a hard thing to deal with sometimes when you're in a hole. And it's hard to deal with in life sometimes when you're trying to make some choices that you are feeling like you want to make based on maybe it's impulse or needs or wants, more than needs. So it's a hard thing to deal with. But I think the number one thing that we learned, we want to take a couple of videos maybe. We'll see how it goes. We're just kind of playing around with this idea. But to take a couple of videos and just step you through our journey. And so this is kind of a beginning overview of where we were and where we want to be, and to start some of the steps that it took to get where we are today. And again, we don't want to feel like we're any better than anybody else, but we knew the whole, and we wish there was some people that spoke into our life in this topic of life, to be able to help us along and maybe say some hard things that we didn't want to hear, but we had to come to realize it ourselves. And so number one step is that we had to come together on the same page. And I think Amber felt immediate relief or freedom when I was able to finally come on board with realizing where we were financially and actually looking at the numbers and going, wow, I don't know how we even got into that mess. How are we going to get out of it? So number one, I think we had to get on the same page.
That was a big part of it.
That was a big part, yeah.
Yep.
And then we had to find the same common goals, and we set some goals to look at the finances, sit down and actually look at our budget, because we've never done a budget officially together our whole marriage. Amber's always laid out some of the bills and payment schedules and all of that, but I don't think we ever had that same common goal.
Being together to know what the numbers were together.
And actually knowing what a budget is. It's not just writing down your bills and here's the money that it's going to cover it. It's actually listing every single debt. We did what's called a $0 budget, and we followed Dave Ramsey's plan. If anybody has heard of him, we never have gone to a financial peace class, but we've learned a lot along the way on our journey. And so we stepped through his baby steps, is what it's called. And number one is we started with our budget. We have one income. I have the only income in the family. Amber has some small income coming in with her small business with oils, and that's encouraging. And that actually helps our family with the supply of our oils, basically. But she's definitely doing a great job there. But the main income is mine, and I don't make a ton of money. And we'll get into that later in later videos of you don't have to make a ton of money to be out of debt as long as you plan and make smart decisions. And so we had to start with our budget. We had to lay out every single expense that we had throughout the month. And then we had to kind of list them in where we are in the priorities of those expenses. And really cut back. The biggest thing I think we cut back was eating out to restaurants every month, or that quick pizza on Friday nights because we we're in a rush, or we had basketball games to go to, and we decided to eat out a little more often after the games or during the that season. So eating out was our big thing that we had to cut, and then the other one was our grocery budget. I think we never really had a budget for groceries monthly. I think we've always just went to the store and got what we needed and made meals. We were pretty good. We're pretty frugal when it comes to that, when it comes to clothing and some of the other things in life. But food, I guess, was a big one. You did most of that, so you could talk a couple seconds about that. And
I think part of it was, going grocery shopping, that when you go, especially if you're hungry, but if you didn't have a specific dollar amount that we could spend, there was frivolous spending of, hey, this looks good, hey, this sounds good, let's make this, and it put us over budget of what we should be spending for our groceries, and so that was something that had to be cut back and put with a specific dollar amount that we could afford each week.
So at the end of the week, or during that week, there's a certain dollar amount, and we can get into that a little bit later in videos, but once she's out of that money or close to it, we just kind of make do with homemade meals and pull something out of the freezer. So it's just a matter of budgeting, being on the same page, having the common goals of where we want to be. So those are the starts of this. So far, out of our 40,000, roughly 38 to 40,000, we've paid off close to 30,000 of that right now.
Since last March.
And we started in March, so that's 9 to 10 months. We cut back our one income, and in 9 or 10 months have paid off close to $30,000.
And I do want to say that there's one other thing as far as getting started on this, was that there's no blame, shifting. Like, we couldn't say it was Tony's fault, I couldn't say it was my fault. We just knew that the debt we were in, that's just where we were. We were in this together, and the only way we could get out was to see what it was, where we were, and take it together and move forward. So that was a huge thing that we did not do. We just knew that this is where we were, and to get out of it, we had to do it together. So that's an important piece, is that, it's not something to blame one way or the other, too. So,
Right, yeah, we could be easily in that game of blaming each other for where we were.
Right.
But until we took accountability and said, this is our debt, this is what we need to pay off, let's have a game plan and do it.
Yep.
And be intense about paying it off. And we'll get into hopefully the next video about our budget, where we budget, and how the debt snowball works. Because without the debt snowball, listing all of our debts, we had 12 credit cards, listing them all out, and then starting to really intensely attack one at a time, the smallest dollar amount. And that gained some momentum and traction and mental encouragement to know that we could do this. And you guys aren't alone if you're in the same situation, whether it's car debt, student loans, any credit cards, whatever it is, medical bills, that there's definitely a way to get through this. And I think we've been playing with the idea of doing this. This is kind of stepping out of our zone, both of us, more Amber than me, but to come alongside, make a video, do something to just encourage somebody. We've been, through God's grace, been able to get where we are today. So we're not 100% debt-free yet, but our plan is in the next 3 to 4 months, we will be. And then we have steps and goals after that to get us to the next step of where we want to be with our having a small emergency fund or a fully funded emergency fund. And then our kids are getting to the age where college is here, braces are still here. There's so many different things that we have in our sights. And Amber and I want to have that freedom once we retire to be able to be wealthy, to be giving, to be there to help other people. And so here we are. So let's stop here. Let's come together again. We'll wait to see some feedback from some of you out there. And we would like to, I'm spurring this on Amber right now. She didn't know about this, but I want to also give away a book, one of Dave Ramsey's book. Maybe in the next couple videos, as you like or comment or share these videos, we're going to put it in one of these random number drawing type systems and give away one of Dave Ramsey's books to be able to get you started on the journey of being debt free. So here we are. Hope you enjoy.